Hi, welcome back to the Gear4music guitar channel. My name's Jordan and today we're looking at guitar wireless systems. And this is Jack from Shure. So I know Shure has loads of amazing microphones, but this is a wireless system. So Jack, talk me through it.
Okay, so yes, the biggest question on everyone's minds is probably what has Shure got to do with this conversation? Why are we here? And we do make some amazing microphones. We've got 58, 7B, 57, but we're also a huge manufacturer of wireless systems, and many, many stadium and arena tours out there at the moment are going to be using some kind of Shure infrastructure on there for their wireless. So our top tier digital system is Actinium Digital. Yeah. That's like the many tens of thousands of pounds, 50 channels, you know, somebody managing the whole infrastructure. And we bought that system out in 2015, 2016 sort of time. And when the development team was done with that, the question was asked, well, can we take some of that knowledge that we've built up, can we take some of that DNA and put it in a premium system for, you know, guitarists, for artists that are coming up and through, playing academy-sized venues, pubs, clubs, stuff like
Smaller
that.
Bands. Yeah. Everyday bands.
Completely, yes. People who just want to get a load of channels running reliably so that they can do their show.
So the one you've brought us today is the GLXD Plus, which is a brand new system from Shure. So what's new and what's different about it?
Okay, so to answer this, we need to think about the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum. So come on a journey with me. I won't go into too much detail. Whenever we talk about wireless, we have to talk about spectrum. And normally when you and I have this conversation, we get into the nitty gritty of licensing and legal stuff and frequencies. And
you can check out all those videos. So go check them out on the Synth and Tech channel.
They do exist. I love talking about it, so please go and watch them because it makes me feel so good. But we're not going to talk about any of that today because we are just focusing on 2.4. So 2.4 gigahertz is a section of spectrum that has been set aside for just putting stuff in. So it's known and licensed as the ISM band, which means the Industrial, Scientific and Medical band, right? So it's basically if you've got a thing and you need to do some wireless and it doesn't really matter, you know, kind of how reliable that wireless is, you can chuck it in 2.4.
So things like phones, Wi-Fi's, laptop, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything, Wi-Fi routers, anything that you would use. I mean, the biggest pain that we see now is card machines in pubs, right? Like I gig in a pub band and I've got a wireless system, and whenever the card machine comes out, we have problems in the 2.4 gigahertz realm. And that was always the problem with old GLX and any 2.4 gigahertz system on the market. It's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant up until the point that the spectrum becomes congested and then it starts to be challenging. So we were looking at how to resolve that, what's next, and this is where we get to GLXD Plus. Can you do your plus? Plus, that's an X, but we'll go with plus. So what does the plus mean? Well, it means that we have access to the 5.8 gigahertz spectrum as well. So if you've got wireless routers at home, and we've got Ash here, so I'm going to call him out on this one. He's got a Ash Smith kind of Wi-Fi at home, and then an Ash Smith 5G Wi-Fi, which is using the second part of this ISM spectrum. It's exactly the same technology that's in here.
So with this, we're getting loads more space to use, which means it's going to be way more reliable for our gigs.
Absolutely, yes. We're increasing the amount of spectrum that we have access to. The other thing that this does, which is super smart, is, in Wi-Fi routers and things, you have to pick. Is it 2.4 or is it 5? In this, we don't do that. So every one of our kind of RF groups that we've developed is looking at both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. So you're getting a huge amount of RF stability out of this system.
So I really like the way this looks because it fits nicely on a pedal board. I use a wired system, but why should I update to this wireless version?
Okay, so the form factor of this makes it super easy to move. If you are a pedal board user already, you've got a tuner, take the tuner off, put this on. We've got an integrated tuner in here, which is activated on the foot switch. So it's exactly like any other tuner you've used, but you're now wireless. So you've got a transmitter, body pack, tuner on your board, super, super easy. If you were going to do that any other way, you'd probably have to have a rack-based system. They're really, really good, but as we were saying earlier,
they're going to be really far away.
And then you've got to run a long cable back, and that's just a pain. So this is a super quick, easy, clean way of getting wireless freedom. And as we saw at the start of this video, I mean, we can do whatever we like when we're wireless. We can go into the audience, we can interact with other band members, makes life super, super easy.
And because it's on your board, you're going to be nice and close to it. So the signal from yourself to that is going to be really strong, and you're going to get a better outtake from it.
That's absolutely correct. And in any wireless system from any manufacturer, like it doesn't matter whether it's super expensive or super cheap, the closer you are to the receiver,
Bet it's going to be.
the better it's going to be, precisely, because wireless energy loses its energy as the longer it travels. So when you consider that this product is dual band, it's looking at a huge chunk of spectrum, and you're really close to it most of the time, unless you are going out and doing crowd surfing stuff. But most of the time we're basically on top of it when we're operating pedals and things. It makes this super robust, and it's license free as well.
So you can use this pretty much any venue that you go to.
Yeah, absolutely. And you won't have to talk to Ofcom. If you're going to go and tour in Europe, for example, 2.4 is the same as it is over here, over there. US is covered. So it's a really, really versatile system for that. Just sits on your board and off you go.
So one thing that's really important for guitarists is tone. So how is my guitar going to sound through this system?
Okay, so it's a wireless system, which means we are processing the audio. So any wireless system on the market, there is going to be some effect on the tone. But that's the same as anything that you put in your signal chain, right? So the amp has an effect on the tone, the guitar itself, the pickups, the whatever. And there are tons and tons and tons of guitarists out there of super, super high level that are using wireless systems every day.
Yeah.
And remember, the DNA from this comes from our top tier Axie Digital product. So you will never buy a product from Shure that doesn't sound great. I think what would be really cool is if we just played some stuff and then, we'll just see how it sounds. I think what we're going to be looking for is in the single coil pickups, we retain that top end shimmeriness. I'm going to leave that in. In the humbuckers, where the distorted tones, we're still getting all of that kind of nice harmonic distortion at the top.
Yeah.
And wireless is going to change the nature of how the instrument is working, but it is complementary. It's going to sound really good, and GLXD is one of the best sounding ones out there.
So I guess the real test here is to see how the guitar tones sound through the system. And while we do that, I've got a couple of questions for you.
Kind Yeah, I think this is a good test, and we're going to try and see if we'll do some clean tones, we'll do some distorted tones. We want to make sure we retain the character of the pickups, particularly in the kind of stratty clean stuff where we still get in those bell-like tones, and in the SG distorted tones, just retaining that harmonic distortion that you want to keep.
Yeah.
And I think we'll show that GLXD absolutely smashes through that.
Let's jump into it. So what is the wireless range on the GLXD Plus system?
So in an optimal environment, you'll get the length of a big venue. But it does depend on what's going on in the environment. If you've got lots of kind of 2.4 and 5 gigahertz stuff going around, lots of card readers, lots of other users, the distance is going to reduce. But this is why having the receiver on the pedal board is so good, because you're never really going to be too far away from that receiver.
So I don't want to be changing batteries all the time. So what is the battery life on the body packs?
So they are 10 to 12 hours. And these are rechargeable lithium-ion batteries as well. So you're not going to be spending all your money on AA's, throwing them away, causing the environment to, hate you. Lithium ions are rechargeable. They're Shure lithium ions as well. So we make certain that all of our battery products are really top spec. They're going to last a long time, lots of charge cycles. And you get a readout when I turn on my transmitter of the battery life on the receiver here. So this is it measuring its battery life at the moment. And I can see that this is about half full, which is good because when I picked this up and bought it here, I didn't charge it. Just took it from the office and we've still had loads of battery to do some playing and do these videos as well.
As it's sending signals through the air, there's got to be some sort of latency. So what is the latency on this system?
Latency is 4 milliseconds or 8 milliseconds, depending on your operating mode. So we have a low latency, which low latency obviously means more processing in the DSP, so that gives you less frequencies available. So if you are just a couple of you on a stage, you can have the low latency figure, that's fine. If there are multiple of you on a stage or you are experiencing problems in your RF, you can put this in a mode where the latency increases. And what that's going to do is give the system more time to catch up with itself. So you're going to recover more data in the error correction and you will have a more robust link. So 4 or 8.
So can I use this with other wireless systems?
Yes, you can. GLXD will play quite happily with any other 2.4 gigahertz stuff in the space. It's going to look to find the best frequency for it to use and operate there. If you're using other GLXD systems for your show, then you can make use of the groups and channels feature that we've got. And that's represented by the 2 digits on the front of the device. So at the moment we're in group 1, which is like, good for 4 to 5 frequencies with a good number of backups. And as long as you have all of your devices in the same group, it will then find the best frequency to use between them. So it's going to self-manage. If you're increasing that quite dramatically, if you've got lots of devices, then you can use the more frequencies groups that we have, or even if the environment's getting quite busy, lots of 2.4 devices, you can choose to put your system in a mode that is going to increase its wireless stability at the cost of a bit of latency. The other really awesome thing about this is we can pair 2 transmitters to 1 receiver. So if you've got multiple guitars, that's a really good option for you.
So how reliable is this going to be in a gig setting, and can I take it on tour?
You can. It's a Shure product. So everything we make has to be super ridiculously cut above everybody else reliable. And that comes across in, the form factor of the receiver, metal body, really hard wearing. Same with these transmitters as well. They're nice metal packs. We ship a good quality cable with it. So this is a premium product with premium kind of accessories, and it's designed to tour. So this is a system that has been built from the ground up to go in and out of flight cases, be on stages, be trodden on and really, quite abused. And the previous generation of this system, GLX Standard, has been out on tours for years, and it still stands up.
So I love that it's got a built-in tuner, but can I change those modes?
Yes, you can. You can go into the tuner menu, which you do by doing this, and we can see I have the ability to choose a strobing tuner or a needle-based tuner. There's kind of various things that I can do with the mute switch if I want it to mute or not mute. I've got a brightness adjustment here. I can also put some flat tunings in and stuff like that if we want to. So it's really been designed to replace any tuner that you will find on the market as a realistic alternative, and it's wireless. So we've just done some playing. You said that you normally use a cable. How did you find this? Did it work for you?
Yeah, I think it sounds incredibly good, and I just love the form factor of it. I love that it'll fit nicely onto a board, and it's got that built-in tuner, so I can get rid of my old one and I can use that one. I'm really happy with it, and I think every other guitarist out there who's looking for a wireless system would also be incredibly happy with this system right here.
It's the confidence as well, knowing that there's so much DNA in this from the really top end stuff that we do. Like it's just a fantastic product for us to represent.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for that, Jack. So if you like this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.